Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the second segment of episode 154? 153. Sorry, wasn't paying attention earlier. But we're going to talk today in our second segment about the green gems in the city of Dallas. And this conversation that Weston and I were having was really kind of came up because the Dallas Morning News is doing their editorial news board is doing a project through the paper that talks about how parks are one of the way we're going to stitch back our democracy between these warring sides at the moment.
And I thought it was really interesting because I thought, wow, how are they going to put all this together? And they brought in a really strong set of arguments in an assortment of, I believe, 4 articles. And it talks about how when you go to the park, you run into people who are completely different demographic, different race, they speak different languages, and how that is a way for us all to get together. They talked about how just at the kids park, you can be talking to someone you never would have seen before, and you're talking about your kids, how they're playing so well together. You can see kids that are working together to move the blocks around, and yet they've never seen each other and they have nothing in common. And this is just this overarching element that is what they're trying to talk about. And these are the articles that brought up Ted Lasso and how the honesty was so amazing that they were witnessing. And we really liked it because it is a really high point that I feel like we need right now.
I agree with you. The city of Dallas parks, when you measure them against other large city parks across the country and break it down in terms of, it talked about accessibility, equipment, locations, things like that. We are like, of the 100 cities that were done in this study, we are number 50. So we're right in the middle.
Really?
Yes, which means we have plenty of space to go up. I mean, I think as a 40-year resident of Dallas, 40-year resident of Dallas now, I've seen our parks kind of ebb and flow between being taken care of, not being taken care of, and I think over probably the last 10 years, I've seen a lot of effort from our city to improve those and get new parks into neighborhoods.
Absolutely. And you can look at downtown Dallas and the 2 bookends that happened at Belo that were huge when they rolled out. Clyde Warren Park. Clyde Warren Park is actually going to have a 1.5-acre expansion towards the west. And they're going to add a large pavilion and supposedly the largest interactive water fountain for kids, I guess. These are just elements that 10 years ago didn't exist here. And so it's just continuing.
And they're doing that very same type of park down on I-35 by the zoo.
Absolutely.
And that is a tremendous investment that the city is making, and they're doing it with a lot of federal dollars as well because of all the transportation infrastructure that's going on. But we have our city has really identified some priority areas for new parks. The city currently has 467 parks, and those parks actually return on investment in terms of home ownership as well.
Yep. Actually, economically, the parks actually add a total of $678 million to the local economy. And it looks like right here that they found that it contributes $340 million to the actual real estate market.
So in Portland, there was a study that was done not long ago, and they looked at the values of 16,000 homes and compared those with each other and did that comparison in proximity to a city park. And they found that the homes and these are just your median priced homes that saw an improvement in value anywhere from 8 to 20% compared to homes that were more than half a mile away.
I think that you and I could safely agree with that if you just take and pull the Katy Trail and look at that. Remember down towards American Airlines Center, there were those really modern lofts that came in, and when they first came in, they were in a no-good neighborhood, and you're like, good luck getting over 3 for those. And today they trade for over $1 million.
Yes.
And it's because, not just because, but the Katy Trail wraps right through that, and so it's add this element, this walkway, this whatever you want it to be right outside your door.
And it we talked 4 or 5 weeks ago about the city approval of the connector from the lower part of the Katy Trail all the way across I-35 to connect to the Trinity Strand.
Trinity Strand, that's right.
Trail. And, you know, those types of investments are going to just continue to help the design district. There's a lot more multifamily residential coming into the design district. I think we'll begin to see some, you know, single family start occurring over there in some of those vacant pockets of land.
And as summer ebbs, we are really getting into that time when it's a great time to get out and explore some of these. And you know, the National Audubon or the Audubon Park that is
Trinity
here,
Audubon, yeah.
it is amazing. It has amazing architecture. I can't remember how many miles of trails they have, but these are things that you don't need to go to Arkansas or Oklahoma to go to Broken Bow to get a hike. You can get this on a Saturday morning at 7 o'clock and be done by 10.
I think there were 43 miles of trails down there, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not doing 43 miles.
Yeah,
of trails.
well, yeah, exactly. But it butts up against the Great Trinity Forest, which is one of the largest contiguous forests of hardwood trees in the United States.
It's all,
And it's right here.
yep, it is really great. These articles that we found, there are about 5 of them. Green spaces in a concrete jungle, our places to play, do serious work, 5 jewels in Dallas Crown, are all in Sunday's newspaper, and they are absolutely worth a read. I think that this is a really great way for people who live in Dallas and people who don't, to get to know Dallas and really explore it and take advantage of what we have here. It is really amazing.
It really is. So I hope you found this helpful or interesting. If you'd like to read more information, we're going to have links to the articles in the comments below. If you'd like to talk about it, please put comments in. We'd be happy to respond to that.
And just remember, tune in next week, Wednesday at noon on Facebook or YouTube, and we want to be your realtors for life.